Hello, hello, hello.
We got a couple of ratings.
News 3 WSIL. Here's what's happening right now.
Student loan repayments are scheduled to resume at the end of this month, but there is news tonight about possible debt forgiveness.
Plus, schools across the U.S. have to deal with a bus driver shortage, and so does Mount Vernon.
And Poplar Bluff will soon have a new police station. We'll give you an inside look.
We've got you covered. From WSIL, this is News 3 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Mark Kiesling.
And I'm Julie Williams. Going to school during the pandemic has been tough, but since the pandemic started, you haven't had to pay back federal student loans.
And tonight, the Associated Press reports President Biden is set to forgive up to $10,000 per person in federal student debt. He will also extend a pause on payments until January. News 3's Danny Valle joins us live from SIU Carbondale. And Danny, this would be a welcome change for students.
Well, Mark, Julie, as you can hear behind me, I guess the clock has struck on the decision on whether or not we will see debt forgiveness. And according to multiple reports, we will see some sort of announcement tomorrow from President Joe Biden. And you know what, Mark and Julie, it will be a relief to millions of Americans across the country, and including two who I spoke to tonight. But there is skepticism amid that decision as well.
You might graduate next year and you have the debt. You know, what does that make you feel?
Like I'm gonna be pushed back some more. Like I feel like I need a better job to pay it off in time.
SIU junior and psychology major Micaiah Golden dreams of opening her own mental health facility in Chicago. The last couple of years, she hasn't had to pay back her student loan debt, now around $32,000, but that could end August 31st, when the moratorium on student loans is set to expire.
It'll slow down my education just a little bit. So I have to work instead of going to school.
Golden is one of 48 million Americans living with student loan debt, now at about $1.75 trillion. But there's talks President Joe Biden could gut $10,000 in student loans for borrowers making less than $125,000. But the question, could it worsen inflation? SIU economics professor Kevin Sylvester.
And so the concern is that further instances of this, where you're giving households more income, either directly or indirectly, that they would go out and spend a lot more. It's not clear that would happen.
Sylvester says loan forgiveness could lead people to spend more, creating more demand, less supply, and higher prices. However,
some families might decide to work on bringing down other debt, so they don't have to pay back the student loan. Maybe they pay back something else more quickly. And so you wouldn't see the demand for goods and services increase.
And for Micaiah Golden's best friend, Kamaya Sutton, a criminal justice major, loan forgiveness could help on her journey to being an attorney.
You go to school to be an attorney or a lawyer, that costs money too?
Yeah, that's more school.
That's more money. You can handle that?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm coming out with a good job. I'm coming out in a good career. So I think it would play off good, and I'll be able to, it'll help me.
Now, of those 48 million Americans who have student loan debt, 45 million are actually with federal loans. So big chunk of those people will be helped by tomorrow's announcement. And again, if this announcement comes to fruition, it would fulfill another promise from the Biden campaign. Reporting live on the SIU Carbondale campus, I'm Danny Valle, News 3.
Schools are making tough decisions in order to retain teachers and bus drivers.
Some of them are changing their certification standards and even cutting back on school days. The National Education Association says the U.S. has a shortage right now of 300,000 teachers. Recent surveys say a lot of teachers are not happy with their jobs. 79% say it's because of working conditions in the pandemic, and other teachers say it's because of the recent school shootings and low pay.
The expectations on educators continue to grow, but we are also under-resourced.
What you have is real shortages in two ways. One, teachers who know what they're doing, leaving the profession early. And second, the number of people coming into teaching is far fewer today than before.
Bus drivers also blame low wages. Payscale.com says the average hourly pay for a bus driver was a little more than $17 last year. Hop Skip Drive says 80% of school districts in the U.S. are short on bus drivers, and it's no different here at home. We have a follow-up to a story we brought you. One Jefferson County school is struggling with the bus driver shortage, and they only have one bus.
McClellan Elementary is asking parents to drop off and pick up students from school while they find a replacement bus driver. News 3's Rachel Gardner has more from Jefferson County.
The line goes quickly, but it still reaches the road. And while McClellan's singular bus sits, parents, grandparents, and friends must pitch in to pick up students.
So I think right now it's just a waiting game. Other than that, I think that's the community's got to go together to do something, you know. So
just doing it. Yep.
And I guess you'll just keep doing it until they get a bus driver back?
Yes, which I hope is soon.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody does.
It is what it is until we get a new bus driver, so we'll just deal with it. A retirement at McClellan Elementary last week left the school without a bus driver and no replacement to be found. Head teacher Tiffany Delaney says administrators of the school of 54 students, K through 8th grades, were left without a choice.
Since we don't have a bus driver, we are now requiring parents or guardians or maybe grandparents, neighbors, friends to bring the students to school and pick them up after school hours.
Delaney says it was by sheer luck that a new hire at the school was interested in helping out and getting a school bus license. But Delaney says that takes quite a bit of time.
You know, there's a lot to do to get a bus driving license. But we're really happy that he has decided that he would, step forward and do that for us.
But Delaney says the classes and training could mean weeks or months without a bus driver. So they're looking for someone to fill in the gap. In the meantime, Delaney says she's relieved the school has an understanding support group.
I think they understand that, we are in this situation, but we're trying to, find a bus driver to fill this position.
In Jefferson County, Rachel Gardner, News 3.